So, what if you could buy something online and its delivery was guaranteed not by a company, but by code? That's the huge idea behind Boson Protocol. And honestly, their vision has grown from just e-commerce to something way, way bigger, like building the actual foundation for a future where machines trade with each other. So yeah, let's break it all down.
Okay, just for a second, think about the last thing you bought online. I don't know, maybe it was a new pair of headphones or even just a book.
Right. Now, imagine that instead of just trusting Amazon or some other big company to deliver it, that guarantee was actually baked right into the code, something verifiable. You wouldn't need any middlemen. You wouldn't need to trust a third party. That is the simple but powerful idea that Boson Protocol started with.
Okay, so how on earth do they pull that off? Well, it all boils down to solving one of the oldest problems in all of commerce, right? The fair exchange problem. Making sure that both the buyer and the seller actually get what they were promised.
And the secret sauce here is this thing called the RNFT, which stands for redeemable NFT. Now, the easiest way to wrap your head around it is to just think of it as a digital voucher, but with superpowers. It's this on-chain, verifiable commitment that essentially ties a digital token to a real-world physical item or service. So here's how that fair exchange actually works in practice. First, you, the buyer, commit your funds, and this is key, they don't go straight to the seller. Nope, they get locked up in a smart contract, kind of like a digital escrow. That action creates your RNFT. That's your superpowered voucher. Then, only when you've received your item, you've got it in your hands, and you've redeemed that NFT, only then are the funds automatically released to the seller. See? It totally removes the need to trust anyone because the code manages the whole thing. But, and this is where the story gets really interesting, the team behind Boson had a light bulb moment. They realized this whole mechanism for trustless trades could be used for something so much bigger than just online shopping. Their vision, well, it evolved. A lot. So look at this. On the left, you've got the original idea, using these RNFTs for e-commerce. Cool, right? A powerful idea in its own right. But now look at the right. The vision today is to build something called the Decentralized Agentic Commerce Protocol, or dACP for short. This isn't just about people buying stuff anymore. This is about building the fundamental infrastructure for autonomous AI agents to trade with each other. Yeah, you heard that right. We're literally talking about the foundation for a machine-to-machine economy. All right, so with a vision that massive, you're probably wondering, where does the actual Boson token fit into all this? Good question. Let's dig into the tokenomics. First things first, the hard numbers. There is a maximum supply of 200 million Boson tokens. That's the total that will ever exist, period. A fixed cap, which, as you know, is a really important detail when you're talking about token value. And to go along with that fixed supply, the protocol has what's called a burn model. Basically, as the network gets used and fees are generated, a portion of those fees can be used to buy back Boson tokens and just, poof, burn them, take them out of circulation forever. The whole point is to create deflationary pressure, meaning the supply could actually decrease over time. But, and you really need to get this burn model isn't some kind of magic trick. It's got one giant if attached to it. The entire thing depends completely on one single thing: people and AIs actually using the protocol. You can think of it like an engine. It's a powerful engine for sure, but it's not going to start without any fuel. And in this case, the fuel is adoption. Without real transactions happening, that burn mechanism just sits there. It does nothing.
And that right there brings us to the absolute core question of this whole explainer. The tech is cool, the vision is, frankly, massive. But is anyone actually using it? At the end of the day, this is the one thing that will either make or break this entire project.
So, when we talk about adoption, what should you be looking for? It's not about hype or social media buzz. We need to see real, concrete stuff. Like, are businesses actually integrating this? Is the number of those RNFTs being redeemed actually going up? Are developers jumping in and building new things on top of it? And are there any big, meaningful partnerships that are bringing real commerce onto the platform? These are the project's vital signs. Now, it's super important to understand the neighborhood Boson lives in. It's part of the real-world asset sector, or RWA, as you'll hear it called. And that space is one of the hottest, fastest-growing areas in all of crypto right now. But what does that mean? It means it's also insanely competitive. To succeed, Boson is going to have to execute perfectly to carve out its own slice of the pie. Okay, so given that intense competition and this huge challenge of getting adoption, Let's get real and talk about the risks and what the future might actually hold for Boson.
There are really three big risks you've got to keep on your radar. First, just plain old slow adoption. Remember, this isn't a meme coin that can blow up overnight. This is deep, complex infrastructure, and that stuff can take years to really catch on. Second, there's the whole regulatory question. Anytime you connect the crypto world to real-world commerce, you're going to get a lot of attention from regulators. And third, as we just talked about, the competition is fierce.
So all of this really points to three possible futures. In the bullish case, the green light scenario, the vision comes true. Boson actually becomes a core standard for how we tokenize stuff and how AI agents trade with each other. The neutral case is, well, it's neutral. It finds its place, achieves some decent growth, but maybe just within a specific niche of the RWA world. And then there's the bearish case, the big one. Adoption just never really takes off, and the project slowly loses relevance and fades into the background. And that brings us full circle, right back to that one single, all-important question. The vision? It's here. I mean, Boson Protocol has laid out one of the most ambitious blueprints in this entire space, a decentralized, automated commercial layer for the future. The tech is ready, the idea is powerful, but at the end of the day, none of that matters if nobody uses it. The only thing that will decide its fate is whether or not real-world adoption will follow. That's the story to watch.